Hey guys, and welcome back to Legomaster627's Creations. So today it is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, and on this day, 10 years ago, in 2015, well, let's just say the Sand Village may or may not have been completely frozen solid. Yep, this was real. Welcome to the Frozen Party. And no, this is not based off the movie Frozen. Yep, I just randomly decided to make the Sand Village frozen, like covered in snow back in the day. Problem is that I picked the wrong month back then to do something like this. Although I guess I wouldn't technically be too wrong about doing something like this in the month of April thanks to what happened 2 years later in 2017, where something like this did actually happen. But how was I supposed to know back then? Oh, it was like I predicted the future, everybody. And actually, not in just that format. There's actually something else that I may or may not have predicted 10 years ago with this part. Operation Freeze 2020 on Lego's Island. How could I have possibly predicted that? Look how similar it looks! Anyway, enough messing around, let's jump into the remake. If we get winter today out of this dispenser, that would be crazy. I take that back. We're still gonna take winter regardless of all of that. Okay, so we're gonna actually start off this remake by actually showcasing this. So this over here was never decorated back then, so we will skip that. Over here, there are some minor differences with this party. First of all these cactuses were never here. I'm referring to these ones. So those are different. Like, basically, if you remove the cactuses from the sand village here, it basically just looks like there's just a ton of snow here, which technically there is. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. Normally, these are not meant to be here in the original. But everything else is, well, okay, maybe minus the items. Which, just to clarify, we're going to collect them in order. The first item is the frozen shirt. Let's put that on. And that's how it looks. Actually, we can take off the Easter stuff now since it's past both Easter and Earth Day. So that's how it looks. There are 3 items total in this remake. But that's super cool. This is what it looks like over here. If we go to town, just to make myself clear, there's only like 2 or 3 rooms decorated. All inside rooms are not decorated for this party, because that's how it was in the original. But it's nice to see the old graphics again, because of course this was back when the older graphics were implemented. In fact, I think this actually came out like exactly 4 years before the modern graphics came out in 1.14, so that's actually pretty cool. Oh hey, actually, you know, speaking of which, it's actually been 6 years since that released today, actually, on April 23rd. That's cool. Anyway, this is how the town looks. As you can see, it is completely frozen solid, which is super cool. And it's actually where we get our second item, the ice skates. So let's put those on. And normally we would use these in, say, water. So let's do this. See, and then see, this just gets frozen solid. Of course, it'll just change back to water very quickly. But that's just a pure example. That's how they look. And then over here, we have the plaza, which, as you can see, also looks like this as well. It's like mainly just all frozen solid normally, as you can see, by the way it's designed. Like I just said, all the rooms are normal, minus the walls. And then back here is decorated too. And see, I told you that was just going to turn back to water very quickly. But yeah, no, back here is updated as well. That's super cool. Because it's mainly just the outside that's decorated in this party. But yeah, no, all the buildings were frozen solid in this party. Just because I guess I felt like doing that back then. And actually, speaking of the cactuses, they actually have their own respective item. The frozen cactus banner. Let's go ahead and put that on. And actually, let's have all 3 items in our inventory. There we go. And that's how it looks. Actually, I will place that down just so you guys can see that. There we go. And the blue parts are the cactuses. So, yeah. That can explain what that is, which is super cool. And that is the end of this party and remake. This was a very fun little party. The next one is actually going to be in 4 weeks on May 21st. Just a few weeks after we hit 300 episodes. So look out for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this little remake. This was very fun to work on. It took a good 30 minutes to work on, but it came out really, really good. And yeah, with all that said, I will see you all in the next episode on April 28th, where we're back to creating stuff. Continuing the sheep statue. I'll see you next time. Oh, frick, I forgot to show you the map. That's how it looks. Sorry about that. Oh, and actually one more thing. This is how the party would look in the newer graphics and the, of course, modern graphics. Honestly, I don't know which one looks better personally. I don't know. Just thought I'd show you that real quick, because it looks cool.